Man, this car sounds so beautiful. So beautiful. I've got something that I am really excited to share with you guys today, and that is the 2019 Dodge Charger RT Scat Pack Daytona Edition. That's what I'm driving today, and that's what we're going to be taking a look at. And really, I'm just going to be talking about what it's like to have, own, and drive this type of car. Now, while I'm filling up some gas, I'm going to let you guys take a look at the exterior of this car. So let's get some B-roll, and then I'm going to go into the interior just so we can start off with something that you can actually see and, you know, so you can see what it is that I'm reviewing here today. I want to start off by talking about why I think this car is very special, very unique. It's unique because it's essentially a $50,000 car as equipped that does 0 to 60 in right around 4.5 seconds. It's got a 6.4 liter V8 that produces 485 horsepower. I think one important thing to mention about this car is that it's got a really good balance between price, performance, looks, quality, and everything else that this thing offers. It's just got a really good balance between everything. I mean, it's a 4-door sedan. You can fit 4 passengers in here with you. You're making 485 horsepower with your V8. You've got an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is super quick on shifts, especially when you put it into track mode. You've got a huge trunk in the back. So, you know, this car isn't limited to, you know, just being maybe compared to like a Camaro SS, for example. And I compare it to Camaro SS just because I personally had a 2017 Camaro SS. Having a Camaro SS, you can't, the trunk space is way smaller than it is in this one. You've just got more practicality with this car. I mean, you could very easily daily drive this car. There's no issues with daily driving this car, you know. The combined fuel economy, who cares about fuel economy, all right? When you're driving a car like this, you don't care about fuel economy, but for those of you that do care, it gets a combined 18 miles to the gallon, which is great. I mean, I would not expect anything more or less. This is perfect. This is, I mean, you're getting a lot of power, you're getting great performance. I don't care about the gas mileage, and I don't think you should either. All right, let's take some time and talk about the interior. What do we have here? We've got a really pleasant cab. It's really not bad. The materials, you know, there's quite a bit of plastic or that sort of rubberized type of material here on the dash. The seats are really nice. They're the Napa and Alcantara leather, which absolutely no complaints about that. They're comfortable to sit in. Because of the Alcantara and the leather, they hold you really nice, and the bolstering on the sides is just perfect. I want to talk about the steering wheel a little bit here. I actually really like the steering wheel. Maybe I think the only thing I'd really probably change about it is these paddle shifters. know, I wish they were maybe a little bigger, and they could come out from the steering wheel a little further back behind the steering wheel, just so you could get a little bit of an easier sort of pull on them. But I mean, they're totally usable, and you know, there's really no issues with them, and I'm just kind of nitpicking here. Now, if I was buying this car, would I or would I not get the Daytona package for $3,500? I think if I'm getting this car, and with the price of this car, with where it sits as built at $51,000, I really do think that I would get the Daytona package here, just because you've got a cold air intake, which is something that you would probably just add in after the fact of buying this car anyways. The seats also are nicer in the Daytona package, so that makes a relatively big difference. You know, and a lot of it is just, you know, there's some accent pieces here throughout the interior with trim, some decals that display the Daytona Edition. And, you know, for $3,500, is it really worth it? Is it not? You know, I'll leave that up to you to decide. But, you know, it's definitely got a few things that I believe are actually worth it. Something that I would get if I was getting this car. You're buying a car and you're spending $51,000 as this car is equipped. You're getting all the comforts that you would want in your daily driver in your car. You've got heated seats, front and back. You've got ventilated seats for the front driver and passenger. You've got a heated steering wheel. You've got adaptive cruise control. So you're on the freeway, you don't really have to worry about keeping a certain distance behind a car. Just put it into the cruise control, set a certain distance, and you're good to go. So that means it's really easy to drive. You've got park assist, so you've got front and rear parking sensors, so if you get close to an object, it'll beep at you. You've got a blind spot monitoring here, so if there is a car in your blind spot, it'll let you know. You've got a sunroof. You've got nice, spacious interior. I mean, what more could you freaking want? The only really downside to this specific car is that it's rear wheel drive. And obviously, you know, with that much power and these tires and a car of this sort, you're gonna have some trouble in the winter. So it's definitely not a good winter car. But other than that, I mean, I freaking love this car. I absolutely love this car. You know, my end sort of conclusion here with this video and this review is that I want to buy this car. I legitimately want to buy this car because it reminds me so much of my Camaro SS that I've had, the 17 Camaro SS, and the power is just incredible. It's so smooth, easy to drive, but then it's also punchy, and you know, the steering stiffens up when you put it into track mode. It's just, this car is just such a blast to drive in. And that never gets old. That never gets old. That sound, man, you just, it's spot on. Spot on.